Alolan Raichu is one of Unite's latest releases and it is so strong right now. I've seen a few players struggling to use it to its maximum capability, so this video is going to cover why it's good, what does it do, how do we use it, and the counters and synergies it has. Alongside, is it actually worth the gems and the coins needed to acquire the character? And, obviously I've added some tips and tricks that you can use when you do play Raichu. So, my name is Sulu. I'm a former competitor at the 2024 World Championship Series for Pokémon UNITE, and my goal is to help you play your best and have some lots of fun while doing it in Pokémon UNITE. So, right before we dive into it, don't forget to leave a zap on the subscribe button, leave a comment, and tell me what you think Raichu is worth or not worth the gems and coins. Alright, okay, so let's talk a little bit about Raichu overall and why is the Pokemon good. So Raichu, as you might be able to watch while I'm playing this, is gonna be one of these Pokemon where it's like a Cinderace, it's like a Decidueye, it's like a Greninja, but it's a special attack version, so that's really cool. One, doing a lot of special attack, auto attack. It's reminiscent of Mewtwo. Now, if we remember, like early days Mewtwo, why it was so powerful, being able to run away and deal so much damage and AoE effect, Raichu is somewhat similar to that, having that aspect of the chain lightning on the passive. So we're gonna read its abilities together, learn a little bit more. But yeah, that reminiscence of having this long range attacker dealing massive amounts of damage to big groups of enemy. Very powerful Pokemon. Very, very, very powerful Pokemon. And if used correctly, it's very hard to get into. Deals so much damage, has stunning abilities, has good movement. It's pretty much everything you want in a top tier Pokemon for Pokemon Unite. And it's definitely one of those Pokemon that you're going to see a lot of success in when you feel confident, like controlling your space in the game, and you're really dealing out all the little bits of damage that you can get in the game. So, alright. Let's look a little bit into what actually Raichu does and maybe some of the builds I like to go. So this is currently the build I like to use. Maybe Wise Glasses can be replaced for choice specs, but let's just dive into the abilities real quick. Okay, so you're gonna see basic attack. After using so many moves, it's gonna get to do a bonus damage to up to 5 Pokemon nearby. What it's also not mentioning is that you actually get to do a dash alongside it. So it's interesting that doesn't mention it, but yeah, basically you need 5 attacks, right? 5 attacks and you do a little dash and you do a massive AoE damage, lightning damage to everything around you. So really insane. As you can see, every third attack is a short paralyze. I mean, it's okay for Pikachu. All right, and this is the ability, right? Surge Surfer, uses a move, dashes in designated direction. Very, very, very powerful. Like, I think Surge Surfer is probably one of those powerful abilities we've had in the game, just as like a passive, because the ability to like kite and move, it's reminiscent to Callista from League of Legends. You play from that. Very, very, very interesting, very fun to play. Takes a little bit of time to get used to just the mechanics of it all, but it is very, very powerful, and you might see on the screen, I'm disconnecting, now I have to retry there, but nonetheless, as I said, very powerful move, very good for kiting, very fun to use. Now, just going into just some of its other moves, basically you're gonna have stored power, which is a buff. It says 4.5 seconds. Basically, it's going to enhance your aura, give you some attack speed, throwing out some powerful bolts. We're going to go into a practice tool in just a second. And Electro Bolt says 0.5 seconds. Don't believe that. It's much longer than that. But it's like a mine. You place the mine wherever you want and it explodes over time. If you cast it alongside another spell, you're basically going to get to use that and actually explode it early, maybe with a bigger effect. All right, okay. Going to the next set of moves, Thunderbolt is basically like a line skill shot, shooting out a lightning bolt and stunning anyone or paralyzing them if they get hit with it. Really good at the later levels. It's good if people are diving you. A little bit clunky. You have a cast time while using it. And Psychic is a little bit different. Psychic is the armor shred or the magic shred version of this, throwing down this sort of psychic pull on the ground, lowering defenses and dealing a little bit of splash damage. Does a bit of damage as well. Very, very interesting move. Once again, getting the free dash off that ability as well. Now, moving into it, Thunderstorm Aerial. This is one of the most insane Unite moves. It doesn't look insane. It's very tricky. The reason why it's so insane, and I really like this move, is simply because what it actually gets to do for the player is it puts out this basic AoE aura, which anyone that you hit inside of this area, as you can say, counts as boosted auto attack. That is insane, because as we're talking about with the lightning sparks on the passive, that is so much damage for 5 enemies. You can hit the entire enemy team. They're just standing there. Lightning bolts raining from thunder, they all die. It's an insane ability, and we're going to go jump into the practice tool and see what it does. So jumping in right now, yeah, basically, like you can change and alternate the glasses, like choice specs. I haven't tried too much Twisted Spoon. I have tried Muscle Band. I didn't love it so much. Wouldn't really recommend it so much. But obviously it's up to you guys to digress. I do believe that Rapid Fire Scarf and the drive, Accel Drive, is like on the non-negotiables in this character. I think it's very good. Cooldown reduction, extra stacking damage, because you're gonna get lots of kills. Very, very powerful. So let's just jump in. We're gonna show you a quick demo of all the moves, then we're gonna explain a little bit about how we might use them in the game. Practice options, level. So yeah, like just going over the quick moves because I didn't cover them before. Thunder Shock, basically exactly like Pikachu, and you can see that movement already. And then boom, that's just sort of like a line, as I said, basic line skill shot. So we're gonna go Stored Power first. Okay, what's happened in my game? I'm lagging. And then we're gonna go Psychic. So Stored Power, boom, a move, and then you can see I get these little orbs. I am gonna get increased attack speed when I use this. So obviously a lot of damage. Psychic, as I said, in the early levels before it's evolved, it's just gonna like leave a little puddle aura when it's later levels. But for now, yeah, let's just see. Lots of damage. Armor Shred as well. So very, very nice. Very simple and basic. Okay, just let's give ourselves infinite moves, and boom. This is the Unite move. As you can see, every attack here is a boosted one. I find that this is like the little first tip and secret is like this is the most effective pattern to use it in, like up and down. If the target isn't moving away from you, because you're gonna see if I go like this, it's really tricky, like to actually just constantly use. So just go again and hold A. Like it's not the greatest. Whereas if I do it like this, and if I go like that, dash, 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 it's a lot better than doing side-to-side kiting. A little bit like plus stepping League of Legends if you have played that the side-to-side kiting. So just go on level 15 here, upgrading the moves, and then we'll show you a little bit more about what the enhanced Stored Power is. You can see the attack speed goes up, and then boom, we're like really dealing a lot of damage here. As you can see, we leave a little Psychic Puddle Aura. It does a lot of damage, and the shred is insane. You can see that the damage really starts to pile up. And then yeah, just testing the dashes on the side. You can see like this amount of damage that this Pokemon does. It's already done 50,000 damage to Practice Cool Dummy. Really insane, very, very, very powerful. But it's going into the other moveset, reset level, and then go down to 15. Level 9 is fine. Electro Ball, and do Thunderbolt. The Electro Ball throws the orb, it's gonna explode because it hits an enemy. See, okay, I throw it here, and if I cast this, it's going to give it a big explosion, which is really interesting, because you see, that's not going to explode on the target, but if I cast this, it doesn't even explode yet. That's actually so lame. So if I put it over here, and I cast there, yeah, as you can see, it's going to have a little double boom. I'm pretty sure it's just the effect that gets bigger, but yeah, as you can see, it does have a bigger range, thanks to that, and that's how it works. So sort of you can place 3 of these mines at a time, and if you see from now on, it disappears. Yeah, so a trick that you could do is like you can have one here, you can have one here, and you can have one here, and then you cast this to break it, and then you throw out the other one. So that's like a little trick that I would do. Look, I think that this moveset is very underwhelming for what it actually provides and what it can do in the game. So it's a bit sad. Like I would like it to be better because I do think it will give more variability to the Pokemon, but sadly, it's just not gonna be better than what's available already. Like, I mean, you need... it's similar to Duraludon with Stealth Rocks in that sense, like, and maybe Sableye with the little point balls that it drops. But yeah, just not the greatest. So let's talk a little bit about how we're gonna actually like play this character a little bit more. So reset level, put ourselves to level 10, put us to level 14. Stored Power Psychic. That's kind of the moveset that I personally preferring right now. And what I've run with this exact build. And you can see you can do a lot of damage to creeps really quickly. Like you're really going to clear them out fast with this build. Once again, like the main thing is just like, you know, you just saw that, guys. So you might notice you cannot stack basic auto attacks like you can on other characters. What you can do though is you can store a boosted auto and you can dash in any direction when you use it. So even though you can't stack, see, right here, I'm going to cast this and I can dash. That's a trick that you're not going to find out every day, and I've had to find it out the hard way in ranked. So I'm just a hitting player, and then I'm like, oh, woo, ended up. As I said, I find personally the best way to kite on this character is side to side. So if whatever direction you're facing, moving your controls like side to side like that is going to be the best. That's personally what I find. If you really like, as I said, we're going to go and do a demonstration here. If you can just run into this character. I mean, so he just like gets one shot because that's how insanely broken this character is. Like just so much damage. But as I said, side to side is what I really find is like the most effective. If I just put it like this. But yeah, like side to side is pretty much the best. Now just going in, we're gonna go and spawn an objective just to give you guys a good idea. Well, put one up, put one down. Right. Rayquaza spawn, and then we're just going to do Rayquaza. You have to remember Rayquaza has limited health at this point, but like this is just another point for Raichu being like an amazing flipper. And like look at that damage on Rayquaza, one, but actually look at it chaining the lightning to the enemy team. It means that you have, what I would say, like, it's probably one of the best anti-flip heroes in the game because of so much damage it does to the enemy team while they're trying to do it. So if you have 5 enemies going inside of Rayquaza and dealing all that damage to Ray, what's going to happen to them? They're all going to get nuked by Raichu's damage because you're going to have the Psychic Aura drop there, you're going to have the Unite move constantly doing tick damage as well, and then you're going to be getting murdered from these boosted orb attacks. So definitely something to consider when playing Raichu. So let's talk about counters and synergies. So obviously, let's talk about synergies first. Synergies that are going to really benefit Raichu are going to be characters that increase attack speed. So we're talking about Blissey, characters that defend it well. We're talking about Snorlax, we're talking about Wigglytuff, we're talking about Clefable. Like the supporters are all very handy. I wouldn't say Comfey is an amazing pair with this hero, but it is definitely not going to be a bad one. I just wouldn't favor this. Like I feel like Comfey's better of a speedster / all-rounder versus like this kind of ranged attacker in the back. But Blissey is definitely going to be one of your favorites to play with this one. Definitely going to be interesting to see this also pair with characters that reduce special defense like Gardevoir, other characters that reduce special defense like Sylveon as well, and maybe even other auto attackers like Glaceon could have a nice synergy, like, you know, sort of bursting down anyone who runs in their way. What are the counters? I mean, I think this is going to be pretty simple for most people, but the counters are obviously going to be Pokemon that really affect this in a negative way, considering Dive. Now, what kind of Dive do? Because obviously, Basic Dive isn't going to work effectively against this hero, and I'm going to show you a trick before we get into that. Dash, dash, and then dash. You can do a little mini triple dash. Look, it's tiny, but if you look at it in context, it's kind of like you can kind of get something. It's enough to, like, as I said, in the right circumstances, get away from the right enemy. But yeah, basically, so as you can tell, Dojo isn't going to have the greatest matchup into this. What is going to have the greatest matchup into Raichu? It's probably Talonflame. It's probably stuff like Zero Aura into some extent. It can be hard to get on top of this Pokemon, so it's going to be a little bit as well of all-rounders too, that have the sticky power, but also don't get one hit, because you can see the amount of DPS that this guy's dealing. It's not a small amount. He is going to put your character away if you're very squishy, and after the armor penetration nerf to most of the assassins in the game, the speedsters, it's going to be hard to really like put away Raichu in one entire hit, and if Raichu has help, like, look, you're kind of cooked for him. So that's definitely something to consider and something to look at. Now, thinking about those aspects, like, okay, well then, that's pretty obvious how we want to play Raichu. Just gonna take down this guy. As you can see, the damage is absolutely crazy. But knowing that Assassin's are gonna really take you down, like, the kind of gameplay you're gonna want to do is like when you go to the Rayquaza and you're gonna go here and you're gonna sort of walk around the area, you're not gonna want to go to areas which are incredibly dangerous. Okay, like I'm like lagging in the game, doesn't like me. Oh, there's so much farm. But you want to go around this area. I do find this area, or if you're playing really aggressive, I really like standing around here, casting this here, and then casting that there. And then you just literally hold the B or the A button, or if you're just tapping the screen if you're a mobile, and you're going to end up nuking an enemy team. Because the amount of bounces that you'll get from like a tank just standing there, tanks can kill their own teammates, they have to back off the fight. Back off, you turn onto Rayquaza, you start doing it, you have lots of resources and health. So definitely very interesting character and very easy to play. I definitely think this is one of the Pokemon that you're going to find a lot of value in this season. And is it worth a buy? I think for the appropriate price, it was 13,000 coins and 799 gems. Look, maybe not the gems right now. I would definitely buy it for coins. If you like Cinderace, if you like Delphox, if you like Mewtwo, not Delphox, if you like Decidueye, those are all Pokemon that are very similar to Raichu, and will definitely feel very fun and intuitive, because Raichu will feel like a new level of experience for them, and definitely still touching on some of the core themes that they can do. So, alright guys, that's pretty much it, the basic guide on, like, you know, how this Pokemon works, what we can do with it, you know, what's going to work well, what's going to work badly into it, and yeah, like, let me know which Pokemon you want to see next, and I'll drop that video next. Cheers. Don't forget, sub to the channel.